Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Fireside Chat, your local Tree Gap talk show. I'm your host, Anna Todington. Today we have a very special guest for you. Please welcome Miss Winnie Foster.
Thank you for inviting me, Miss Todington.
My pleasure. Now, let's get straight to it. I'd say you're a pretty smart young lady, so why on earth did you make a promise to a toad? And what was the promise you made?
Well, first of all, it was quite a hot day, so I may have been a bit delusional. Second, I was very bored, and there wasn't much better to do. And third, there was something about that toad that was different and almost daring. The promise I made was that since obviously the toad didn't think of me as tough or smart, I would sneak into the wood at the crack of dawn to prove him wrong.
Ah, I see. So if you had never met this toad or made a promise to it, your whole adventure would have never started. Wow. Okay, moving on. So I know you got kidnapped, but what was the build-up to this? Who did you meet or see?
First, I heard a sound in the wood, like nice music. To my surprise, it was a boy. When I asked him how old he was, he said that he was 104 years old. How crazy is that? Of course, I didn't believe him. However, soon the mother of this boy and his brother came along and told me the tale of how they could live forever. Apparently, it was due to the fact that they came upon a magic spring in my wood that when they drank from it, their death was indefinite. At first, it was hard to believe, but as I studied longer with them, it became a little bit more believable.
You see, that's very queer of you. Brave young girl you are. I would have been out of there stat, crying and crying and crying, crying.
Yes, I'm sure of that. Any more questions, Miss Todington?
Yes, I have plenty more questions. I'm sorry, I kind of get carried away a lot. But I know you had a talk with Tuck, Angus Tuck, on a boat. Now, what did you talk about? And what was your reaction to what he said?
Well, Mr. Tuck talked about how life was like a wheel and how the tucks fell off. Now there are rocks on the side of the road, not moving at all. He also told me the importance of no one knowing about the spring in the wood.
Wow, that's very deep. Now, even though he said not to, did you ever want to sneak a bit of that magic spring water?
Yes. In fact, one night I wasn't sleeping easy, and Jessie Tuck came down and gave me a bottle of the magic spring water. That way, when I was his age, I could drink some of it and we could run off together. Jessie is the only one in the family who is positive about living forever. I love his positive spirit.
Wow, they were all negative? That's interesting. Now, how did they convince you not to drink any of this magic spring water?
Well, I had a talk with Miles Tuck, and it was very similar to Angus Tuck's talk with me. He said that the world would be too full if everyone drank from the spring water. It was very convincing, and it was really hard to tell what side to be on.
I would have been very confused also. I couldn't imagine what it would have been like to be in your shoes. I've been wondering what it would have been like to hear the man in the yellow suit talking right before May Tuck hit him. What made them so mad?
I was also very angry. 3 major things made them mad. First, he told them that he had bought the wood from my parents. Second, he told them he was going to sell this magic spring water. And third, he was going to make me go home.
Holy cow! I don't know how they kept their cool. Or did they? Did you?
I hated him at the moment, but I did not physically hurt him. May Tuck hit him over the head with a shotgun just to save me. She is so brave, kind, and compassionate.
I can't believe she did that for you. That's just bravery at its finest, I guess. Now, did you go home? If so, what was it like to be back? It was nice, but my parents were very clingy. However, it was nice to see them again, and they kind of let me do whatever I wanted. Well, I guess that's good for you. I would have been crying, "Mommy! Mommy! Mommy! Mommy!" Yes, I'm sure of that. Anything else? Oh, yes, couple more questions. Sorry. Now, what was the deal about that awesome jailbreak you did? Back home, I ran into Jesse, and he told me Miles's plan of getting May out of jail. I really wanted to help. So, I decided that once May was out of the cell, I would replace her overnight. The plan worked, and it was sad to say goodbye. It's the last time I've seen them. Oh, that's kind of sad. Do you miss them? Yeah, a lot. I bet. One last question. So, what did you end up doing with the bottle of spring water from Jessie? Well, I gave it to a toad. The same toad as before. There was a dog about to eat it, and I wanted it to be safe forever. Wow, that toad is special. Thank you, Miss Winnie Foster, for joining us today. And thank you for tuning in for another episode of the Fireside Chat. I've been your host, Anna Toadington. We'll see you next week. Thank you and goodbye.